Welcome back to Obscure Board Games. This is Atmosfear, also known as Nightmare, a game with an interactive video villain known as the Gatekeeper. Before playing, each player rolls the die. The highest roller is the Chosen One. The Chosen One assembles the board however they want. Dual cards and Harbinger pieces are placed on their headstones, and the colored keystones are placed on their corresponding spaces. Each player randomly draws a numbskull and places it in their matching home space. Finally, each person writes their greatest fear on a slip of paper, crumples it, and places it in the Well of Fear. Assuming you don't own a VCR, start the interactive video on YouTube. The Chosen One rolls first. You now have 10 minutes to land your numbskull on a headstone by exact count and transform from a numbskull into a Harbinger. The more difficult a headstone is to reach, the more powerful the Harbinger is, so choose wisely. Keep in mind that you can only use the center ring road as a numbskull or when you're heading home to win the game. If you fail to become a Harbinger after 10 minutes, the Gatekeeper appears and you're drafted into the ranks of the Soul Rangers. Any unclaimed province on the board is flipped over to the sewers. If the majority of players fail to become Harbingers, the game ends and the Gatekeeper wins. After the 10-minute mark, players start trying to collect 6 different colored keystones. Each keystone provides different advantages and powers to different game characters. Powers can be anything from rolling 2 dice instead of 1, passing through gates or black holes, or even forcing disadvantages on others. To win a keystone, Harbingers need to land on them by exact count. You can collect as many of each color as you like to stop others from getting them. The first keystone you collect from your province allows you to collect your duel cards. With these, you can outbattle other players with cards to steal keystones from them. To duel, you must land on a lightning strike. You and the opponent you choose flip over your top card and the highest one wins. The winner then takes a random keystone from the loser and the duel cards are removed from the game. Soul Rangers cannot win keystones by landing on them. Instead, they must chase other players and land on them by exact count to steal one. They can also duel by landing on a skull. However, Soul Rangers are confined to the sewers unless they have a keystone to let them out or the Gatekeeper releases them. As the game is being played, the Gatekeeper will randomly show up to stop the game. If it is your turn when he says stop, your turn immediately ends. The Gatekeeper will then announce an advantage or disadvantage that will apply to one or more players. This can be anything from losing a turn, taking a few extra turns, drawing a fate card, or being thrown into a black hole. Once you have collected all 6 different colored keystones, you head back home. You are again allowed to use the ring road. You must land on home by exact count. After that, you spend your next turns attempting to roll a 6. When you roll a 6, the Chosen One opens the Well of Fears and reads a random one. If it is your greatest fear, you're sent back to your headstone and you must try again. But if it's not your biggest fear, you win. If after 1 hour nobody gets all 6 keys, makes it home, and has read a fear that's not their own, the Gatekeeper wins the game.